Hi, Jen here from Jen Michelle Coaching, and today I want to talk about unearned attachment. Unearned attachment is becoming attached to another before it is the healthy or rightful thing to do. And I want to dive into ways in which this often plays out in any stage of love, dating, and relationship. For those of you new to my channel, I would love to invite you to subscribe. I release a video weekly. So let's dive into unearned attachment and the ways I see this play out in usually early stages of relationship, but it can also be something that goes on for years for women if they are afraid to have conversations that rock the boat or to put their needs and desires out there. Unearned attachment is making assumptions in a relationship, right? Where maybe a certain amount of time has gone by, maybe there's been intimacy, maybe he's introduced you to his friends, maybe he's introduced you to family, and assuming that that means more than what it actually means. So we will assume that things are more serious or exclusive because these events have occurred, rather than really expressing our longing for clarity or to understand if the other person desires the same things that we do. Another way in which I see this play out is using ways of intimacy, of intelligence, even spirituality, using something that you have as a way to try to get security from another, right? So, for example, if a woman sleeps with a man immediately, she may just want to have some fun and feels like this is the kind of guy she can do it with. So, no judgment. But let's say she does this in hopes to get something, right? Like, oh, he's going to be so amazed by who I am and what I can offer there that he's just going to be so ready to commit to me, right? And instead, holding herself sacred and seeing, does this person want what I want? Do they want it in the time frame in which I want it on? What kind of person is he demonstrating himself to be? And we hold our value. We hold our value in a way where we allow ourselves to have a situation unfold and determine if it feels right to proceed, instead of jumping into it and figuring out the rest later, or having made a bunch of assumptions about what all of this meant only to find that he saw it very, very differently and really is not interested in the same things you are. And just using the example of a long-term relationship, maybe he doesn't see that as something that equals a long-term relationship, or maybe he's just having fun and not wanting to think about anything past that day. And so really holding space for the things that you want, which means really coming into good relationship with them, right? Where you're able to hold that space to honor what you want and what you need in this life, and really hold steady and secure in that, versus kind of going into it with this energetic asking of permission. Like, I want this. Is that okay? Does that work for you, right? This over accommodating energy that women can often fall into when they don't hold confidence and a lot of self-love for their process and who they are. Number 3, this leads me to authentic conversations where, if we believe that we're a good person, if we love ourselves well, and we're confident in what we have to offer another, we're going to authentically be able to enter conversation from that space. But if we hold flavors of believing that what we want is wrong in any way, we are going to want to mask that and cover it with a bunch of other things. And so a lot of really stepping into love and relationship is having the courage to allow another person to see you in a healthy relationship with that in which you desire, versus sort of asking whether or not it's okay. And this often comes from sort of a core wound, if you will, of not really believing in your goodness or purity of who you are as a person, right? So if you've done a lot of clearing and your heart is open, it's easy to say, hey, yeah, this is what I want. And if you don't, that's okay. But I need to make sure that I'm only pursuing relationships that align with what I want long term, right? That will be an easy thing to do because you believe in your innate purity and your innate goodness and innocence, really, of who you are as a woman. But if you don't love yourself well, or you still don't view yourself as being this deserving, good, worthy woman, you will feel much less confident authentically approaching your desires from this space. And so you will go about it in ways that are perhaps unclean, that are manipulative, that cause chaos and argument with him, where you're doing things from this energy of giving to get, where there's these unspoken agreements of what then he's supposed to give you, versus really bringing that all into the light and having healthy, emotional, intelligent conversations around what it is that you both desire and how that fits into what you want for yourself long term. And so unearned attachment is something that we want to face very directly so we can go into relationship from a place of honesty, love, and having our shadow exposed, having those dark parts of our psyche, and again, this is a work in progress. Like, by no means am I saying you have to reach this perfect place, but it's like you're owning those parts that are unclean within yourself and you are catching it and boldly showing up with the truth. As you begin to do this dance with another, it invites the parts of themselves that have not been fully illuminated to become much more conscious, where they then can come into honesty with you. And this is the dance. This is the dance of really growing together in love that is what allows love to last a lifetime, right? Versus what we think. Like, if we work on our looks hard enough, if we work on this hard enough, if we just don't rock the boat, if we're easy to please and, just sort of pretend to be things that we're not. It's not that. It's about really stepping into raw honesty of who you are, allowing another to see you, and making solid, discerning choices from this space. So when you do get attached to someone, it's less from survival mode, it's less from assumption, and it's rooted in a foundation of love, courage, and truth. And that is always the invitation to the most secure and healthy, sort of thriving relationship we can have. Please let me know how this video supports you. I always love to hear from you in the comments. And I would love to invite you to download my guide if you are newer to my work, just to get a taste of my offerings. My Becoming Truthfully You bundle includes a meditation, includes a guide, as well as a webinar. I will link it below, and see you all next week.